issues dealing with here. We'll come to order. This is a public hearing. There should be an attendance clipboard working its way around. We ask that you sign in for that, please. Let me give an estimate here of the, as a public hearing for our budget estimate for 2026. The casino riverboat estimate is $6,500. The rainy day fund is zero. General fund total budget estimate is $757,648, with $350 coming from estimated funds to be raised, and then $350,000 with the current levy is $337. So that's a 3.85% increase. Local roads and streets, $150,000. Motor vehicle highway fund, $562,905. Estimated funds to be raised out of that is $350,988, and the current levy is $336. That's a 4% increase. Cumulative cap improvements, the cigarette tax, estimated income is $10,000. Cumulative capital development, budget estimate is $44, with estimated funds to be collected $39,427 for a no increase. The economic development income tax, CEDAT funds from the county, $35,000. Street depreciation, zero, and the LEAF fund at $10,000 for a total budget estimate of $1,576,052, with a estimated tax levy of $740,415, and the current levy is $713,385. Are there any questions or comments from the public on the proposed budget for the town of Greentown for the year 2026? Any questions or comments from council members?
Does this include like the circuit breakers loss already, or is that?
So this is the budget estimate that goes in. It's been reviewed by DLGF, and then they take that, and then any circuit breakers would be applied. They've taken into account, but the final isn't done until your assessed evaluation is certified, is the right term, I believe. It's not until November, December before we know for sure.
Okay.
But this is just a public hearing. This will be adopted at the September 16th meeting. If there are no questions or comments from that, we will close the public hearing. Please make sure you sign the attendance. Oh, speaking of which, for me, coming around for council members. And with that, the public hearing will be closed. And let me move then to the town council meeting for August 19th for the town of Greentown will come to order. You all should have minutes from the July 15th meeting, I believe. I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
So moved.
I have a motion from Mr. Skinner. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Ms. Everling. Any questions, comments, or discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, all's in favor of approving the minutes from July 15th signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, likewise. Moving on to the dockets, the general fund docket for August 19th is $180,225.74, and it includes two payroll vouchers. The water utility fund this evening is $49,781.58. The stormwater fund docket this evening, $16,994.36, and the wastewater fund docket, $88,949.87. I would entertain a motion to approve the dockets and payroll vouchers as approved and as reviewed and signed in caucus.
So moved.
Motion from Mr. Standish. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Lance. Any questions, comments, or discussion on the dockets? Hearing none, all is in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Mr. Peel, you're up, sir.
Mr. Hinesley's property I looked at before the meeting. It looks like there are still several windows that are unsecured.
Mhm.
I spoke briefly, just by chance, I ran into TJ before the meeting, spoke with him for a few minutes. He hasn't had any contact recently from Mr. Hinesley. I told him that I expected the council probably would want to start to lean on him pretty heavily. My advice at this point is that I think you probably need to consider some sort of a fine for the nuisance that's ongoing, because
Okay.
I think you've given him more than adequate time to try to remedy the problem, and it doesn't seem to be getting remedied. With regard to Mr. Barton's property, it is currently set for a jury trial on February 6th, as he has answered the complaint alleging certain constitutional takings, claiming he can do as he wishes with his property. I don't believe he's going to be successful, but this is the system, and so this is how it works.
And that date, of course, is subject to change.
Subject to potentially being continued for a criminal trial or any number of reasons.
Yep, okay.
I still intend to speak to Mr. May again. Mr. May has indicated he thinks he may be able to impress upon him that the cost of hiring a lawyer to pursue a jury trial may not be worth while for him,
Okay,
for lack of a better phrase.
sure.
So there may still be some room to try to get it resolved short of that, but that's the current status of that one. I saw in my email right before the meeting, I think from Scott, some communications with someone about the railroad crossings.
Thank
I'll
you.
defer to you on that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I can update. I know it's under there. I spoke to the legislative liaison provided by Representative Karikoff. He was sympathetic to our concern with the crossings. And when I explained to him where the letter had gone, he goes, yep, that's where you send it. He said, please send me the letter and the photographs, and you'd already provided the letter. Thank you, Mr. Lance, for getting me updated links to the photographs for those intersections. And he has indicated that he will work on it. So I think that's at least some positive movement there, yeah.
Also reviewed the fire contract, the street sweeping contracts. They're fine for you to take action on tonight if you so choose. And then the resolution to sell the 2 lots, if you choose to approve that.
Okay.
We can start that process. I'll get the notice of sale to Teresa so it can be published in the time frame to meet the next meeting.
All right, let's move through those items as presented. Is it your recommendation then for 119, 121 North Meridian that we enter a process similar with 624 West Peyton and fine him $1,000 per day as nuisance abatement?
That would be my recommendation at this point, because I don't know how else to impress upon.
I would okay, thank you, Mr. Peel. I would entertain a motion to authorize Marshall Halleck to begin issuing nuisance abatement ordinances on for the first week on a daily basis, and after that as accumulated, every so many days or
So
whatever, unless
moved.
it's abated.
So moved.
Have a motion from Mr. Skinner. Is there a second?
Second.
Here, I see that. Second from Ms. Everling. I see a lot of head shaking. All right, Ms. Everling, any questions, comments, or discussion on that?
Is this the, how do I say this? I don't want to be, seems like all these are just taking forever to resolve. Is that just a fact of life, or is there anything we can do that expedites these problems going away?
There's nothing expeditious about civil litigation, unfortunately.
Or nuisance abatement?
Yeah. There's a
Any municipal
process.
attorney will tell you that it's a lengthy process to deal with nuisance abatement if you have an uncooperative property owner.
Yeah. You already have an order to tear the building down, but that's going to be an extremely expensive process. I'm sort of hoping if he has to potentially start writing checks for fines, that it may either decide to fix the building or sell the building, and you can always forgive the fines later, if a deal comes to pass.
That's good to know too.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
That's regrettable we're to this point, but I think we have done more than our due diligence and been patient in the situation.
Yeah, I think
Definitely exhausted all
we
measures.
maybe
Yep.
got it out of
Unfortunately.
sequence on this property compared to Peyton Street,
Yep.
and should have started with nuisance abatement as opposed to the other, but that's all right. We have a motion and a second. If no further discussion, all is in favor of issuing nuisance abatement for 119, 121 North Meridian Street signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 624 West Peyton, we are already at the point where we just continue through the process.
The legal
Right.
process
Yep.
is working.
All right, we did the update on the railroad. With that, I have resolution 2025-3, notice of intent to sell real property located within the town of Greentown. Again, this is referencing a parcel near Harvey Drive at 1.17 acres of unimproved property, and then the second parcel, 2.474 acres of unimproved property, also near Harvey Drive. Parcel numbers 34-11-3, 153-006-12, meaning it's within the town, and parcel 34-11-03-153-008, also ending in 12, within the town, in accordance with Indiana Code 36-1-11-5. The aforementioned appraisals have been performed, and the values for each parcel are less than $25,000. Whereas the best use of the property is sale to adjacent property owners, and the cost to the public of maintaining the aforementioned equals or exceeds its fair market value. Now therefore be it resolved by the Town Council of the Town of Greentown, Indiana, that the Town Council of the Town of Greentown approves the sale of the aforementioned properties in compliance with the previously mentioned Indiana Code. The Town Council and Town of Greentown direct the Clerk Treasurer to send notice of proposed sale to each abutting landowner and to publish the same notice as required by Indiana Code within 10 days. The council shall accept sealed bids for each parcel for a period of 10 days and shall negotiate any such offers as authorized per Indiana Code 36-1-11-5 subsection G. Section 4, paragraphs and clauses of this resolution and applicable are separable, et cetera, the standard separation clause. I would entertain a motion to approve resolution 2025-3.
So moved.
Motion from Mr. Lance, is there a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Skinner. Any questions, comments, or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so today's the 19th.
I will get the notice that needs to be published to Teresa. Is there a minimum bid that you want in that notice? The last time we did sales, we did a minimum bid of 500, but I believe you can do whatever you want.
I'm thinking. Does a council member have a suggestion? I had a
I would
number
say
that
at
popped
least a
into my
minimum of
head.
500 on the last one, just to.
Well, the last ones were were much smaller parcels and
Yeah.
unbuildable.
Commercial.
These are buildable.
Do we have the assessed value on specifically the buildable one?
Well,
It's less than
Yeah.
25.
Yeah, we've got appraisals on them.
the appraisal
Sorry,
on
yes,
this.
thank you, appraisal.
The appraisal on,
this-
yeah, I've got them by parcel number. One
That's
of them
okay.
was 7,500 and one was 24,500.
I have a question that might, Mr. Monk, how much capacity to our system could somebody build down there and add to our system? Because if it's gonna be like 0, then that ground can't be developed. But if you got capacity,
Right.
that's potential, do you know what
I
that,
wouldn't see a problem if we had 10 connections there on that property.
okay, so,
And the one parcel is split by Brunks Ditch.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
Reducing
if you
its-
put a duplex in there,
Yeah.
it could be a problem for maybe one duplex or maybe two.
well, I think the minimum ought to be the appraised
Appraised
That's what I
value.
was thinking
Yeah.
too.
If
The
that's
what's that?
case.
Appraised value,
Appraised value.
especially on the one that's
It's
the,
only $25,000.
That's the
That's
one
pretty
that,
cheap.
that's the one that's bifurcated by Brunks Ditch.
Yeah.
No, it's really,
What's the other one valued?
the other one was 7,500, and it's the 1.1, which is actually suitable for a home. More so than the other one. I mean, there's a utility easement is all over, even though it's on at 24, there's a utility easement on the property on both sides. There's the ditch easement on both sides. It would actually make sense for the farmer that's farming this small portion to do that.
so the higher valued of the two, the higher assessed of the two is the one that's split by
Split by
Brunt's
Brunt
ditch,
ditch.
and so it's a lot of unusable property, it appears. The middle section is wooded Brunt's ditch.
And it borders some folks here.
Some unimproved property, non-tillable property, I guess I'd say.
I would consider, I think, and I'm just tossing this out, it's not a motion, because you guys can obviously make the motions. I'm thinking about $5,000 apiece,
I'd say a minimum starting at 5,000.
minimum of 5.
And it's negotiable for us beyond that.
Correct.
We're not gonna take anything less, but anything.
So when you say
below.
that, that's you, so as with before, the adjoining property owners can bid, that's the value they put in,
They have priority.
they have priority, and you can negotiate from that point.
Okay.
We should negotiate from that point.
Yeah, I think that's
You have
fair.
the option to do
But
it.
that does not
That doesn't.
tie the town into a $5,000
Okay.
price.
No,
Yeah, I'd say $5,000
I don't
is
believe
fair.
the town is required to accept any bid.
Thank you.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
I think you could get multiple bids and say no.
Yes,
Okay.
because that's what it said, any and all bids may be accepted or rejected, yeah. I would think 5 apiece would seem reasonable for the 7,500, and then the other one, since it's split, it has really a small value, even though it's on the tax.
I don't know.
Doesn't make any sense.
What's that?
So why is it appraised so high if it's split like that?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's assessed at.
It's,
If you look on their, it's assessed.
oh, actually, no, it's backwards.
Yeah, so I think you.
I'm sorry, I apologize, I had the
Yeah,
parcels
that-
backwards.
All right.
Yeah,
I was
I had them backwards. It's 7,500 for the larger, so that would be 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one, if you wanted, it would be, is the 24. So it's a buildable lot
It's
at
a-
1.1 acre.
So that's the one that should be
So you want that higher?
Yeah.
assessed.
Or at least 20.
20.
15 or 20?
5 and 20?
5 and 20.
I'm comfortable.
5 and 20?
I'm comfortable
Is that a
with 5 and
motion, Mr. Lance?
Yes, that's a motion.
And
I will second that
from
motion.
Mr. Standish, so to be clear for you, Mr. Peel, the 1.17 acre lot appraised at 24.5 would be 15, was it?
20.
20.
20,
20.
and the other lot is 5.
5.
Yeah, I got them backwards, I apologize. We have a motion, a second, all's in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, thank you for keeping me straight and that clarification. Intent to sell, fire and street sweeping, well,
Two, so you sign
the
it.
fire contract here. You have anything you'd like to add to the fire contract, Mr. Wood? No?
No, any questions?
You should be signed. Is he pregnant?
Does Senate Bill 1 affect you guys come 2027
22 signatures.
with the,
We'll wait and see. I mean, just like everybody else, you know, our monies come from township trustees. 'Cause-
Well, the trustees in the town all sign contracts with you, yes.
So, depending, you know, I've heard a scenario that they may go to one trustee for this side of 31. But nothing,
set in stone?
Right.
no. I know when we sent out the contracts, it's just like you guys have to approve it, the board of trustees for that township has to approve it and make sure that the monies are there.
This amount is planned and in the budget for next year. It's 2 payments for a total of $40,684,034 for services provided January 1 through December 31st, 2026. It'll be paid in 2 installments, $20,342.17 in June and the same amount in December. I would entertain a motion to approve the contract as reviewed by Mr. Peel in the amount mentioned.
So moved.
Second.
Motion was that Mr. Skinner, I believe, down there, and seconded by Mr. Standish. Any questions, comments, or discussion?
How exactly on that contract, what, I guess, quantifies the amount that is proposed? Like, what is how is that done?
Oh, from the previous year? I believe it
It's been
was
a 3%
3% increase is
increase.
what's been happening
Yeah,
each
it-
year, typically.
I mean, you guys all know the cost of everything is going up.
Correct.
It's the same for us, except fire apparatus is like not probably as bad as aircraft, but, you know, if you have a boat, you know, you always pay more for that. And there's things that we have to pay for every year, you know, hose testing, things like that, pump test, in order to keep the ISO rating down to a 5, where we're at right now.
Any other questions for Mr. Oil? I believe I was at the motion and second and ready for a vote. Yep. All those in favor of approving the contract signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's coming your way. There's 2 copies for each signature, and while you're here, your signature's missing. You're welcome to sign it.
I was, when those contracts were drawn up, I was on sick leave,
Yeah, no,
and they had to be mailed and.
oh yeah, not a problem. I'm just, okay. Moving on then to the street sweeping contract between the town of Greentown and the Indiana Department of Transportation for US 35 for 1.80 curb miles. Total curb miles 1.8. Each location shall be cleaned a minimum of 2 times per year. The state agrees to pay the LPA $360 per curb mile per year for a total of $648 per year. The total remuneration under this contract shall not exceed $2,592. It's their standard deal. I would entertain a motion to accept the street sweeping contract with the Indiana Department of Transportation.
So that's, they pay us to do it,
They
correct?
pay us.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. So moved.
to use that nice street sweeper we now have.
Right.
We have a motion from Mr. Skinner. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Ms. Everling. Any questions, comments, or discussion?
My question,
Yes, sir.
can you reduce that contract time? Or is it just what it is, what it is?
What do you mean, reduce
so?
the time?
Well, you look at the length of time that contract
It's
is,
through 2029.
Yeah,
things are gonna go up. I
Yeah.
mean,
yeah, it's for the next 4 years.
That's 4
That's
years.
typically what they
So
do.
it's the same price. How often does that happen?
Where do you get that?
It's
If it's
been
the other way
that
around, it wouldn't be the same price. Promise you that.
I doubt it.
Is that a boilerplate deal?
Yes, it is. I mean, you can see by the number.
Can, but they may not approve it.
What's that pay for a tank of gas a year? It's a diesel, right?
I appreciate that, but we have a motion to second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Moving on. Fire department report, please. Did I do it?
Good to see you, Stan.
The month of July,
It's all right.
59 EMS runs, 14 fire runs. Since it's been so long since I've been here, I got a total of EMS, 376 EMS runs.
This year?
Yes, 118 fire runs for a total of 594 runs through basically 6-7 months. So right now the numbers seem to be up compared to last year. So that's where we're at. Also, September 13th, we're doing the fish fry. If y'all want to come down and eat some fish, put on by Keith Zook. Keith Zook is cooking the fish, and we're providing the sides.
Thank you.
Stan, here's the contract.
September 13th?
September 13th.
Thank you.
I just drew an arrow. 2 councilmen didn't know where to sign. They signed under yours, so I just moved an arrow.
Thank
Marshal Halleck, police report, please.
For July of 2025, we had 6 traffic arrests, 33 warnings, 3 ordinance violations, 15 cases were investigated, 1 criminal arrest, 103 calls for service, and 10 accident reports, or accidents investigated.
Anything you'd like to add to the report?
Not at this time.
I would entertain a motion to approve the July police report as presented.
So moved.
I have a motion from Mr. Lance. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Standish. I'll give it to him. Any questions, comments, or discussion? Hearing none, all is in favor of approving the report signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Moving on to the water utility report for July. Maximum daily flow, 199,400 gallons. Minimum daily flow, 90,200 gallons for an average flow of 139.90. Total gallons pumped for July, 4,311,800 gallons. And it was a difficult month. We had 28 disconnects and 0 are currently disconnected. 2 total coliform rule tests performed, and both tested absent, satisfactory, and reported to IDEM. Red meters, completed customer service orders, data logs, and non-paid turn-offs, turn-ons. Avalon Court final walkthrough was completed. Only outstanding item is waiting for the grass to grow and reevaluate in September. Repaired the water leak on the inside set meter utility side leaking into the basement. Assisted with wastewater plant testing, assisted with street department brush and trash pickup, and assisted the utility office in replacing trash and recycle toters. I would entertain a motion to approve the July water utility report as presented.
So moved.
Have a motion from Ms. Everling. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Skinner. Any questions, comments, or discussion?
Mr. Mock, just ballpark the average time between the disconnect and reconnect. I'm happy that we have 0 that are still currently disconnected. Just want to know about what the typical layover is between disconnect, paying the bill, reconnect.
Probably like you're talking about hours per day.
No, once we disconnect,
Oh,
how long it takes them to get reconnected on average?
I would say 90% are within that day,
Same day?
or probably closer to 95% or that day or the next day.
Okay, thank you.
So is it more than 30 days over, then they get shut off?
Yeah, we had that discussion. So it's the 10th of the month after the 25th of the month that the
Okay.
bill was due. So your June usage is due July 25th. If you haven't paid it by August 10th, you're turned off.
Okay, that makes sense.
But in 15 days, this was a discussion we were having, your August bill is due.
Right.
If that, well, your August
Right.
payment for July usage, so it's waterfalling, if that makes sense. And there, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Any other questions? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Moving on to the July Street Department report. Performed Indiana 811 locates, assisted the water plant with operation and testing and meter disconnects, reconnects. Painted parking, handicap, and school crossing lanes on Meridian and Walnut. Assisted with repairing the inside set meter leak. Swept the town streets, removed brush and leaf bags, removed debris from the storm drains, sprayed for weeds around town properties and alleys, mowed the town properties, picked up trash from bins and streets around town, replaced trash and recycle carts, and maintained town vehicles and equipment, made necessary repairs. I would entertain a motion to approve the street department report for July.
So moved.
Motion from Mr. Standish. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Ms. Everling. Any questions, comments, or discussion on the street report?
I have a question, and this is not directly related to streets, but it is directed to sidewalks, which I would call something. Is there a chance we can get the sidewalk that's out here that's just to the north of this building repaired, or what? It's been,
We reached out to AT&T
been
and
butched.
they're not.
is it their responsibility? It's not the town?
Yes.
So if they don't do anything, it's just gonna deteriorate, and the town can't do anything or won't do anything?
Can if you fund it.
Okay.
Yes, if you say do.
We could fund it, or if it becomes sufficiently impassable, would it be a nuisance
Dangerous,
abatement?
it could become
Dangerous?
a nuisance,
Yeah.
dangerous condition that,
Quotes for you on doing that, and maybe I can talk with you after the meeting on some
Yeah.
areas that you want to identify, get those quotes. and I
Well,
can-
that's just, it's right here uptown, and it looks, I mean, it's getting worse, it's been bad for a while.
Yeah, we tried to include it on the sidewalks whenever we did our sidewalk, but we just didn't have enough money to add that on. And
Yeah.
so we went to them and asked them if they wanted to use the same contractor, maybe for
Sure.
a reduction, and AT&T did not have any interest at the time.
Okay, yeah, we'll get together, that'd be fine. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all's in favor of approving the street report signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Moving on to the July wastewater treatment plant report. We operated at 29% of the 0.58 million gallon per day design flow. Monthly rainfall was 3.41 inches. Monthly plant flow average 171,000 gallons per day. Monthly plant flow total 5,294,000 gallons. Performed all routine sampling and testing, cleaning and maintenance. Drained clarifier number 2 and clean. RAS pump number 2 overcurrent fault pulled and replaced with a rebuilt pump. The raw pump number 3 failed. They found a loose wire at the interlock switch connector. Mixer 2 overcurrent fault pulled the mixer and replaced with a rebuilt mixer, and so there's a lot of other items that are waiting to be repaired at their various vendors. I would entertain a motion to approve the wastewater treatment plant report as presented.
So moved.
A motion from Mr. Skinner. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Lance. Any questions, comments, or discussion on the waste report? Hearing none, all's in favor of approving the report signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Moving on down the agenda this evening. Marshall Halleck, any old or new business, sir?
Not that I can think of.
Mr. Skinner?
I have nothing at this time.
Mr. Lance?
Welcome, Phil. Glad to meet you tonight. Appreciate your interest in Greentown. We thank you very much for that. Thanks for everybody coming out tonight and supporting our town, and it's great. Got a good team, like I say every month. Great team of people working here, and it's just good to see the town's always nice, tidy, clean. Appreciate our fire department and all you guys mean to us. And so anyway, just thanks everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Lance. Ms. Everling?
I don't have anything at this time.
Mr. Standish?
New business. We've been talk for quite some time on the possibility of the property offered by Brad Howell for a park in Greentown. And so I personally think it is time to move forward on this project. And so the direction of that, I would be happy to take some advice on. I am ready to the point where I'm ready to make a proposal that we engage Mr. Howell and talk to Mr. Howell about accepting that property. But I would like to hear from the other town board members, if that's appropriate this time, as far as any of the items that we may need to clean up prior to me making that proposal.
Wasn't there some issues about parking and maintenance or something in that area that we were concerned on?
To the best of my knowledge, the issue with parking is just how would we make it work? You would be forfeiting some of that property in the name of, either angular or parallel parking, more than likely angular parking. So whatever your typical 10 feet maybe of encroachment off of the street for that purpose.
Is this something the town can incur the maintenance and everything on that won't cause any extra? I'm good with it. If
To
he
the
says
best-
it's good, then
To
I'm good
the
with it.
best of my knowledge, the town be doing the mowing at this point in time. As you all know, there's no budget. There's no money in the budget anywhere for a park. Main Street Association has mentioned several times that they have funds available for the purpose of the park. So, Mr. Craig, do we have a number from Main Street as far as what they're willing to contribute to seed money for the project?
Not at this time. We got a park budget, but I'm not exactly sure how much it is. It's $8,000 an hour.
what's the Comet Trail amount?
It's a better folks.
It's,
It's
I don't want the fund, I want the appropriation.
Yep.
Sorry.
This right here.
Line it in there.
Yeah, maybe you could explain fund number 4402. Parks, CCD parks, what's CCD? I should know that, but I know. Cumulative. It's on page 5.
Cumulative capital development, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean,
That's
What the
that's cum cap development funds.
so is there a definition
That's a
of
levy.
that part, for that department, for that account?
No, that's a general fund.
Okay, so.
Primarily been used, and there's been no maintenance this year required on the Comet Trail. The Comet Trail comes out of that.
So refresh our memories on the Comet Trail, that it's a school property, but we are responsible
We
for the
have a
maintenance.
lease, yeah,
And we are solely responsible for the
for the
maintenance
maintenance of
and
the
the
trail
upkeep of
itself.
that trail.
Correct.
Of the asphalt.
Of the
The
asphalt.
on
Thank,
the
yes,
trails.
the
We
ex-
don't,
physical
we don't
trail.
mow it, the physical.
Correct, the
physical
the
path.
physical pathway, thank you.
The school mows it.
What's the, yeah, the school mows around it.
We have a,
So the 1 acre parcel, what's a proposed plan for the approximately 1 plus or minus acre parcel?
As far as big picture?
Yeah, playground equipment, what's the,
Yeah, so the initial plan that I would be looking at is I would like to, fence off, especially the north and the south end. So there's a divider between the property and the railroad, and also between the property and the property, house to the south there. Just out of respect for the neighbors. And then we would move forward on putting up some type of a pavilion. I would envision this being done in phases. I would anticipate this being funded by donations from the community, and build it in phases based on what we have available.
okay.
I would not anticipate any type of restroom. I think that would be problematic and it would not be cost effective. I think anytime you have an unlocked restroom facility that's not monitored, I think we would be looking at then also determining what hours of operation would be at that park.
Okay.
Follow-up question as we continue this discussion and try to make some headway on this, as far as zoning, are there any issues with that we're aware of?
How'd you know what I was just trying to look up?
I don't know. If you're thinking like me, you have a problem.
I believe that as the parcel was there, was that zone C1, I believe? Oh, I mean, you can continue, I'm just looking.
No, that's okay. Board members.
I don't foresee much of a problem in funding in that, the community, and I've been somewhat involved in this for a little while, is anxious to get a park. And I think if you just put the word out and you got GoFundMe page or some sort of a fundraising events occasionally, I think you could raise quite a bit of money. I know other towns that have done similar things that I've talked to have no problem garnering public funds when they have a need, when there's a specific need or want, and so I don't see that to be a problem. I think that if the town contributed, if Greentown Main Street contributed, and the public contributed, I think there'd be enough money for a pavilion to start with, and then build everything to expand on. So if you had a pavilion, then you'd have it designed to where you could put some plumbing in there down the road if we went that way or whatever. So there's a host of things that I think, but I think right now the public is looking for a park, and I think it would build the community. I think it would bring a lot of people together and to town, and that helps the ice cream store, you know, and there's a whole lot of things that could be beneficial to the park.
I know that Mr. Malk has brought up a concern about mowing 2 properties. Hopefully we'll be able to alleviate that with the sale of the property on the south side of town. I know that to some people, and I don't disagree, this is not the end-all be-all perfect location, the perfect size, the perfect anything, but I don't know that we're going to find, my opinion, I don't know that we find anything better in the foreseeable future. And so what I'm looking at is either we move forward on this project, or we probably never have, you know, and if that's what the council decides, that's okay. It's a democracy. Then we don't have a park. But it's, you know, it's a great opportunity. And I'm not necessarily a big fan of the concept of if you build it, they will come. But on this, I think it's something that I would be comfortable moving forward to and seeing how this plays out. Marshal Halleck, any concerns from law enforcement as far as, I mean, it's already a vacant lot, and as long as there's no enclosed buildings or and the line of sights are clear, any concern from you in that area?
No, as long as, like you say, they're not gonna have a restroom, anywhere to congregate or destroy things and stuff like that, doing mischief inside. Like was mentioned earlier, have a time frame where it's closed. You know, I know in the city of Kokomo, it's 11 p.m. is when parks close, but we can decide that as you guys as a council on what time frame you want. Number 1 for opening at what a.m. and, you know, and p.m. for closing. So, and that can be regulated also in the winter time when darker hours. So, and that's something that can be enforced as an ordinance. If there's an ordinance for that, that's something that we could enforce as an agency. But other than that, if it's, you know, I don't foresee any issues law enforcement wise of having something that's opened and, you know, where they're not going to kids congregate and cause some issues. I don't foresee a problem with that.
Is there any legality issues, Jeremy, on city having a park and insurance and liability? I know we're all gonna be named in the lawsuit regardless, but.
Yeah, I mean, there is liability, of course. If somebody gets hurt, it's public property. You have to maintain it, keep it safe, and even if it's perfectly safe and someone gets hurt, you're gonna get dragged into a lawsuit over the design or the ownership or the maintenance or any number of things.
Is that something we can reach out to our insurance company to see maybe what that would entail?
Yeah, I would
Policy-wise.
certainly encourage you before opening any kind of public facility to have insurance. So yeah, you would need to speak to your insurance people about what it may cost very little, it may cost a lot. I don't know.
I presume we're also carrying insurance currently on the property that we're trying to get rid of.
I would hope.
I would hope so. And it may be, you don't deal in speculation, hypothesis.
So there's also a difference between
Correct. Just to give you-
public property
Correct.
and
And a
municipal.
designed use for, understandable.
So a couple of comments,
Sure.
if I may. It's zone C1.
Okay.
Parks are not allowed in C1, so it would have to be rezoned.
Okay.
They're allowed in R1 through R4 and B1 and B2 per our code of ordinances.
Okay.
I think that 1 acre is not of sufficient size for parking and a park. And as far as a gathering building, there is a community room available now that already has plumbing and a small kitchen at the Greentown Fairgrounds that's available for use at a very reasonable cost, and is air conditioned, and many times if you leave the building as good as you found it, they don't even cash your check, you get your check back. So as far as needing a building, I believe we have a building that has sufficient parking for a gathering type place.
An indoor building.
An indoor building, yeah.
Okay. Costs associated, I know Mr. Mock had mentioned, fees, taxes, ditch assessments, things like that.
Yeah, we have those typically on all of our properties.
Okay. So that also, you know, if we're getting rid of one property, picking up
He
another.
wants to split that off here, I believe, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Would also, I would.
I overlaid the zone.
No, you're
That's why-
fine.
That's
I'm
why the
pro-
colors are.
No, you're good, I'm processing. Maybe wise to get, the benefit of the, adjacent neighbors, hearing their input on having a park pop up next to them.
You would have to do that when you rezoned
Right.
anyway, so, yeah.
Right.
But I think, the one property that's right there on the, south side has, I think they're fine. I think we talked to them already, somebody, if I recall, and they were fine with it, so.
Okay.
So that shouldn't be a hurdle.
Commissioner Standish, you
Yes, sir.
mentioned about us at mowing property. Our street department does a great job mowing, and they don't have a problem mowing the property. My biggest concern was is if we move forward on this property,
Mhm.
I would really like to see the council move forward and Main Street move forward on developing it, and not just do what we've done with the other property that was a gift to us and just mowed it for, 10 or 15 years.
Right.
Or longer. Let's work together and really develop this thing. If you vote for it or you approve it, let's come together and make this thing work.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly, and it's entirely possible that, in talking with Mr. Howell, he may say, hey, if you're gonna sit, this thing is gonna sit dormant for 20 or 30 years, I'm not interested. I mean, he's interested in the town having a park. And then working on what happens if it doesn't go. I mean, hopefully it will. But is that gonna be something, so, any other items that we're missing here?
Perhaps a formal park committee that would be in charge of the criteria, some of the rules, some of the whatevers that would come up that need attention, so that all those things can be addressed and then presented either to the council or whatever, so that I wouldn't go much more than a 5-member park board, just to make sure that all those little details are covered and taken care of, so that this council doesn't have to be doing all that stuff.
Sure. Sure. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, this to go over, looks like. I mean, some things we need to look into.
Yeah. So we're talking about getting liability insurance, talking about rezoning. We're talking about some work with ordinance and fence costs and things of that nature, as well.
Design fees, engineering fee, I mean, you're gonna have ADA compliant. You know, those things
you
need
go
to
to-
be
sure.
approved, and who's paying that and all.
Right, depending on what
I
it
know
looks like.
there's some communities, they've had 5 years planning a park. I mean, this is not a quick
Right.
process as
Correct.
well. So
Correct.
I think that's what Michael's saying, what's the time frame?
Right, and right now we're looking at acquiring the land, and then the process begins of building the park, in my mind. So,
Do we need to find out too what kind of money is there to start this park before we move forward?
well, Floyd is gonna bring us some numbers back, and he said, how much from Main Street?
I got some, I mean, we got playground equipment. That's, playground equipment, we got
Okay,
We'll see what happens.
okay.
Do we need to answer to these? That's what we.
You talk about the fairgrounds. This is Greentown. This ain't Greentown, Howard County 4-H fair or whatever. You know, having something in this town, I mean, if we don't do anything for beautification in this town, we got this edit fund that I heard in council. We're gonna come after money for Christmas lights. We don't have any Christmas lights. They come through here to go to 4-H or to the fairgrounds for beautiful Christmas. We go through town, we go, what is this? We have one reef that was lit up because they didn't get the power dropped down to us. You know, it just gets me that the town lacks everything from the ground down is great, but the town lacks beautification. We don't have the street lights like all the rest of the town's got. How does Urshigo get them, you know? How's all these towns got all these, we got a beautiful Main Street now, and nothing other than our banners making this town look a little different than anybody else or any other town. So I think that the council needs to work with Main Street to get some streetscape, you know, make this town look a little bit better.
So as we're looking at this, and I'm open to your suggestions on this, I'm interested in, and thank you for the issues on the insurance, liability, the rezoning, looking at ordinances. Is that something, and we can phrase it how we want to phrase it. Do I need an approval from the council to approach Mr. Howell, tell him that we are in favor of that property pending some of this information? Or is that just something I don't need approval for, and just go talk to Brad and say, you know, we are interested in the property, pending that?
Pending the outcome.
I don't want to, I feel like we need to do a better job of communicating with him as far as what the progress is and the process is. So is that something I need a motion to go speak with him on behalf of the council and keep him up to date, or is that something, Scott, that,
I think you would need a motion to enter into an agreement to
Right.
acquire
Right.
donation or property from Mr. Howell.
okay. But aside from that, do we need a motion?
Yes, to enter into a
No,
negotiation.
not to go to negotiation, just to approach him, express our interest in it if there is that, and,
I
get
was
the ball
under the
rolling.
impression that had been done, but if not.
It has been done, but I want to make sure we're on the same page.
I think we need the answers to some of these questions, don't we, before we actually
Okay.
start entering into an agreement. Do you agree with that?
So what's it gonna take to,
Well,
go ahead.
I make a motion that we accept the property from Mr. Howe contingent upon reasonable cost of our insurance, and the zoning shouldn't be a problem. But I would add that into the contingency, be zoned, insurance be reviewed, and what else did you have?
We just did some of the costs in this,
No.
move forward.
Those are the two big hurdles, right? So it would be contingent upon those two items. But the motion would be to accept the property from Mr. Howe contingent upon those two items, just to move this along.
The issue of contingent upon the insurance, does that cause anybody?
I mean, if it's gonna be $1 million a year more, then that kind of takes that out. It's all relative
I feel
to
like we
what
should
it's gonna
table
be.
this till next month and get the
Okay.
answers to these specific.
What
Table
would-
it till next, to get some answers to these specific
Get the
questions
quotes?
now that we're, yes.
Okay.
I would feel better about that.
What would it take to get a quote on
I'd
liability
just
insurance
move
on
along,
that property?
Personally.
Just contact our underwriter.
Okay. I'm gonna let Brad know that we are having conversations on it, just so he is appraised of this.
Okay.
I'm gonna withdraw my motion, I'm gonna table it. I would like,
You didn't
I
actually
didn't
make
make
a
a motion.
motion. Mr. Lance made a motion, and there has not, he
Okay.
made a motion to
I made a motion,
acquire
but
the
I-
pro-
We haven't had a second.
Yeah, I was getting there, Mr. Peel, thank you, sir. Mr. Lance has made a motion to accept the donation from Mr. Howell of the property for a park, subject to insurance and one other condition I don't remember, I'm sorry.
talk about rezoning.
Oh, rezoning, which, yeah, insurance and rezoning. Is there a second? Going once, going twice, not hearing a second, that motion dies. So now what did you want to do, Mr.
Yes.
Standing?
I would like to get a quote on that property as far as liability insurance. What that is gonna cost us on that property. And then we can make a decision about going back and, we can re-propose going back and talking to Brad.
For Amanda to provide a quote, she would need to know what sort of playground equipment would be on
What's
the
gonna be on
property.
it? Is it-
Correct.
To be,
I mean,
So that
to
may
be
flex
very
over time.
specific, that's
Right.
I mean, well, that
Okay.
will- that will
a
evolve.
swing, a merry-go-round, a different.
Okay.
they're-
Just gonna start with the pavilion.
Right,
Just
let's
build
let's
it
start
to
with a quote with a,
Period.
with, are we gonna have to know the exact specs of the size of the pavilion and things like that?
Probably assess the value.
Okay, all right.
And when you
still
say,
need to know what they're
when you say
insuring.
pavilion, is that an enclosed structure or a
Open.
Just an open air.
gazebo?
Okay.
Type, okay.
Okay. Well, thank you for the clarification on that. I think it's not a done deal, but I think we know what we need to do to head in that direction. That makes me comfortable. And we can certainly, I don't wanna wait too much longer on this. Do we know if there's anything out there, sorry to monopolize the time, as far as electricity, dawn to dusk lights, anything like that, electrical out there?
I'd have to check on that.
Could you check on that?
Something that's doable, I mean, we can give it the power company and
Right.
get
If we could check on that and have that by next town meeting, okay? That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Standish. Anything else, sir?
No.
For myself, for new business this evening, we have a opening as Mr. Smith tendered his resignation, and his last day with the town was last Friday as our water operator of record. Mr. Mock has advertised the position and accepted applications. We've had a very qualified applicant apply. Mr. Philip Howell has applied. He is currently a wastewater operator, but has been studying and under supervision to become a water operator and is interested in becoming an operator. He's here this evening. And in order to replace that as our current position, there's not a current position that would support a wastewater operator / water operator. We have an assistant town water operator, assistant town supervisor, and a town supervisor. So Ms. Duke has prepared an update to the 2024-7 salary ordinance for ordinance 2025-1. I'm surprised we've made it to August
I know,
with
first
no
one.
ordinances. But to start, I would entertain a motion to suspend multiple readings of ordinance 2025-1 as it does not increase or change the appropriations or town budget or funds.
So moved.
A motion from Mr. Skinner, is there a second?
Second.
A second from Mr. Standish. To be clear, that motion is to suspend multiple readings of ordinance 2025-1. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed. The change in ordinance 2025-1 is creating a wastewater operator, water operator, with 10% of the salary to come from MVH, 40% from water, 50% from wastewater, with a minimum salary of $51,000, a maximum salary of $56,000, with a set annual salary of $54,000. Upon certification, the percentages would stay the same, and the salary would change to $57,000, so a $3,000 increase once successful assertion of a water certification. So with that, I would entertain a motion to approve ordinance 2025-1, I apologize, adding the position of wastewater operator, water operator at a salary of $54,000 and with certification of water an increase to $57,000.
So moved.
I have a motion from Mr. Skinner. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Lance. Any questions, comments, or discussion? All is in favor of approving the change to ordinance 2024-7 with 2025-1 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And we'll send this down for signatures. And then a follow-up to that, I would entertain a motion to offer Mr. Philip Howell the position that was just created as a wastewater operator, water operator at $54,000 per year. Once the certification is obtained at $57,000 per year, subject of course to a clean driving record meeting the town standards and passing of a drug screening. And additionally would like to start him with 1 week of vacation for the remainder of the year, and then he would start at the first of the year with 2 weeks of vacation. I would entertain a motion to bring Mr. Howell on board in that position.
So moved.
I have a
Second.
motion from Mr. Standish, a second from Mr. Skinner. Any questions, comments, or discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I appreciate all your patience this evening. I have one, actually a couple other items to bring up. I knew it was going to be a lengthy evening this evening. As you recall at the last meeting, we have carried over funds from local roads and streets in an attempt to maximize our funding available for the Community Crossing Matching Grant Program, which will be going away. It's in our best interest to use the town's engineering firm to prepare the bid documentation for the Community Crossing Matching Grant. They have provided an estimate of the design phase of $66,300, the bid phase $11,100, the construction phase $15,300 for a total engineering fee of $92,700, which cannot be covered by the matching grant itself. So we have to self-fund that. They prepared the bid package, put it out for bid. We opened the sealed bids. They're received and evaluated. They do the bid tabulation. And then, as I mentioned, there would also be some construction phase monitoring. They would have an RPR confirming that the appropriate material is used and amounts and et cetera. I would entertain a motion to approve the proposal from Wessler for the Greentown 2026 Community Crossing Road Improvements in an amount of $92,700.
So moved.
The motion I laid out was Mr. Skinner again. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Ms. Everling. Any questions, comments, or discussion? The engineering will happen this year. It will go out for bid later, and the award is, the applications are due, I think it's in October of this year. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Oh, I got
Oh.
a question.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
Those funds come out of our pocket, right?
Yes, they do. Those funds are not out of there, so it'll come out of the remainder of local roads and streets and MVH.
Okay.
And other funds within those categories at the discretion of the clerk treasurer. I think we didn't quite hold enough to cover the amount. The only amount that would be due this year is the $66,000 for the design phase. The other will be invoiced later.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Mr. Lance. Any other questions? I'm sorry for being so quick. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all is in favor of approving the amount signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There will not be a meeting September 2nd. The next meeting will be September 16th. Please let Teresa know if you cannot attend. We will need to have a we need to have a full meeting because that will be where we adopt the budget at that meeting. Tonight was just the public hearing. One final new business item I'll sign this afterwards. I would like to address is, I mentioned in caucus, the Howard County Recycling District is willing to invest and improve our property on South Maple Street for a recycling center. And I would seek approval for Mr. Peel to work with TJ Rethlake, their attorney, to work on a lease agreement, as well as, I should look at zoning, as well as we would look at zoning for that. And the improvements would be subject to approval by the town of Greentown, of course. We had discussions about the different material. But I believe that that would be in the best interest of serving the residents of eastern Howard County, not just Greentown. Is there a motion to continue the process with the
So moved.
Howard County? So moved. Mr. Skinner has made a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Lance. Any questions, comments, or discussion? Hearing none, all is in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Guests this evening, thank you so much for your patience. I know it's been a long evening. If you have something to bring before the council, with the new requirement, I ask that you approach the podium, state your name and address. Mr. Farmer, would you please? I know we know you, but it's just the process, sir.
My name is Mike Farmer. I live at 227 North Harrison Street in Greentown.
Thank you, sir.
I have some questions.
Yes, sir.
Not disagreeing with Mr. Standish is proposing at all, and the items you guys talked about to consider appropriate. But what was the ground used for in the past, and are there environmental issues you need to investigate? Like, how was it used once before? And is that something that we need to be concerned about before we use it for public use? It's just a question I was thinking as you guys were going through it.
It's a great question.
It had green elevators on it.
Just asking. I don't.
Yeah,
No,
that's
that's a great question.
Where's the property? I don't know
Yeah,
where it's
there are
at.
grain elevators. There is
Or
some
not,
subsurface.
Green beds, actually, not so much elevators.
There's some subsurface, I'm gonna call it hard pan. There's not asphalt, but there is compacted gravel
Where's the
underneath
property?
the topsoil.
Where Uncle Tom Street headed west, where it dead ends and bends down,
Okay.
it's that empty
Okay.
vacant
Yeah, if
grass
you
lot.
go west on Uncle
Okay.
Tom, it dead
Familiar
ends
with
into that property. There is a barn, commercial building on the north side there. He would like to retain that portion and it would split off the other portion.
Okay. Subject number 2.
Yes, sir.
These two properties that you guys have decided to put up for bid,
Yes, sir.
is it by ordinance that the adjacent owners get first dibs on it?
It's by Indiana code.
Indiana code. So how would the public, if they don't go for it, will the public be then notified they're
Oh,
available?
the public will be, they will be notified. We will the property owners adjacent will be notified and have the option to bid. And as I understand, Mr. Peel will correct me if I get out of line on the Indiana code. If they submit a bid, the town can choose to enter negotiations with the adjoining property owner that can supersede other bids. Is that correct, sir?
That's a fair way of saying it, yes.
Well, when would the public be allowed to,
10
Bid
days
on it.
after the notice is published would
Yeah.
be,
They accept bids for a period of 10 days, and so it depends on how many bids come in.
so the bids would be advertised in the
but
Kokomo
the
Tribune
adjacent owners would get first consideration? Is that what you're saying?
if they submit a bid.
Yes.
I think what he's saying is, can they bid at the same time?
Yeah, they
Yes,
do. No, they
everybody-
do. Everybody bids at
Good
the same
clarification.
time.
The 10-day window is open to anybody to bid on.
Anybody.
Okay, so here's my question. Why are you selling it?
It's currently not used for anything. It's mowed. It's in a very far corner of town that's not accessible by sidewalks. It's just, there's not a great benefit. It was given to us to be used for the benefit of Greentown, and its geographic location is just not accessible to there's no sidewalks. You have to cross 213 to get there. It's tucked down behind those apartments.
I know where it's at.
Okay.
All right, so here's my question. Since I've been here, and Mr. Mock, you can correct me if I'm wrong, But at one time, 7 or 8 or 9 years ago, you guys were looking to put another well in someplace.
Mhm.
Is there any consideration that you might want to use that property one day for a well? Before you get rid of it, is it something you might want to think about? Is it something you want to keep? I'm just asking.
I believe it was evaluated
We
when we were
did.
looking for wells.
Because when the Wesleyan, fell through, we
When the
looked at it,
Wesleyan
and there's not a,
Well,
there's not
fell
a.
through.
yeah.
There isn't, so we paid for a fracture study when
Right.
we drilled the wells, and there was not a fracture indicated in that
In that
location.
particular, I'm just asking.
No, that's a great question, no.
So here's my next question. and I really
Questions are
don't-
always challenging and valuable.
Well, I don't know about that. Here's my next question. When, the last time I spoke about this property here on Meridian, I was in favor of giving the guy some time. I've since done 180 on that. I don't believe we should give this person any more time. I don't quite understand the conversation about the fines. Mr. Lance, could you tell me what that means?
Fine, though, it's just a motivational tool to get him to move along a little quicker.
So how
If he's
is
gonna be
Marshall
fined,
Hallett gonna get involved in this?
He'll be writing citations.
And then what happens?
Well, then we'll end up going to court and he'll have to pay the fines and the court will decide.
So
We'll-
is- so
We'll be
if-
talking about this for the next 2 or 3 years.
So if you find somebody,
Is there anything else?
where's the pain if you don't have to pay it?
That's a great question. That is a great question.
So what's the point of the fine if there's no pain,
Mr. Farmer, the theory behind that is the fines rack up as a judgment lien,
right?
and then you can foreclose that judgment lien and have the property sold by the sheriff.
Yeah, I kinda thought that's what you were gonna say, Mr. Peel. But I am thinking as just a layman here, guy says, fine, have the property, I don't want it.
He won't give it to us. We could accept it.
But
and
at
sell it for
$1,000 a
There
day,
are-
that could add up to a
There are
side,
developers who are interested in it.
sir?
There are developers.
I've
who are
taken
interested
developers
in it.
through
He
the
won't sell it.
property. He is not interested in selling the
Okay.
property.
So at $1,000 at what point do you say, we wanna collect our $1,000 a day?
After $60,000.
Well, we don't have to let it go to 60, but I mean,
But
we rack up
that's what
enough
we
that we
did,
can
yeah.
ask the court to have it sold by the sheriff to satisfy it, or he has to write a check. So we want it to be big enough that he either can't write the check, or he gives in before and either fixes the property or sells it.
Yeah, cause I don't wanna see this can kicked down the road any more than it has been.
We're doing what we can do.
Yeah, I understand that. I've heard of this enough now for 10 months. And like I said, 6 or 7 months ago, I was in favor of giving the gentleman some time, but that train has left the station as far as I'm concerned. I just trying to figure out where's the pain. You know, you can find me all day long, but if I don't have to cut you a check, I don't care.
If we sell your house, you'll care.
Yeah, yeah. But did you not say, Mr. Peel, correct me if I'm wrong, that you could dismiss the fine if he did something?
Sure, if he agreed to sell it to someone else, we could wipe the fine to 0 for the new developer, so there
Okay,
wouldn't be.
so is there a time limit, sir, as to when he could?
That's up to the council, sir.
Well, the council makes that decision. So after you come up with X number of days, and then he's gonna sell it to an individual or a corporation, then you guys would make the decision to waive the fine? Is that how that works?
That's where it
Yes, sir.
should go. It's an option.
So if they didn't wanna, Mr. Peel, if they didn't wanna waive the fine, who would pay the fine?
It would be a lien on the property, the new purchaser would have to pay the fine.
Okay, and that could deter somebody from buying
Certainly,
it?
yeah.
Okay. Those are the only questions I had. I'm just curious. I'm sitting here listening to this thing.
Well, thank you for asking.
You folks have a good night. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Farmer. Any other guests this evening?
Yeah, I got one thing.
Yeah, sure.
So, if you guys, yeah, he's got papers. May I approach? They're not an
Name
honor.
and,
Oh, sorry, Adam Smith McCollum, 107 North Meridian. So if you guys head down Grant Street to where Carter is, Carter's diagonal, if you stop at that stop sign,
Yep,
and
I know
try
where you
to look around all those parked cars. After school is really bad, fair time it's really bad, and people can get up to pretty good speed by the time they get to Grant Street. So just asking if everybody would just travel down that way, take a look, and see if that's something that maybe we can look at getting.
I understand
Fixed.
the concern. I drive that way every day.
So that's all I got.
And the individual whose cars those are he's not gonna be really.
is his concern cars parking on
they're
Carter
facing
Street.
East side of the street.
Yes. Because of the way the street is angled, you can't see, and if there's like 6 cars, like you're looking through a windshield and a window to hope that nobody's coming.
Do they have any?
So there's already no parking on part of that road,
Yeah.
I believe. So that was it. That's all I got.
Yeah,
I
well,
think
thank
the
you.
address is
Thank you.
Yep.
121 North Carter Street, maybe? It's the same fellow that we had
Was it the two-story?
this 2-story garage that we had the standoff with on the sheriff's department. George Wilson.
And that street is fairly narrow too.
Why is
I
this
mean, we
giving
can
me?
fit the SUV and another car by it, but they don't like it when we drive through and try to make it a 2-lane road with parking.
Yep. Thank you.
Any change to parking in that area is done by ordinance.
I guess you don't have any off-road parking.
I drive that way too.
Yeah.
Is it the west side property that's parking on the east side?
No. Well, I don't know. They only park on the east
These
side.
people right here.
I think the west side is no parking.
There's no other parking but right there in front of that garage.
There's no off-road parking. The gentleman that lives at Carter and Grant on the southeast corner owns
Yeah,
the garage
515
behind
West
him.
Grant. Uh-huh.
Yes, there's a Dodge Charger, a red maroon Dodge
Yep.
Charger and a silver Dodge Charger that park on the street there a lot.
Mhm.
The only issue with that is they don't have any off-road parking. So they, other than that little garage that's sitting there, and his motorcycle sits in that garage. I ran both plates recently because I noticed one of them didn't have a plate and then it did. So I ran them, they both go to both vehicles. So they're properly plated, and at this time legally parked. So, but
I mean, even
I know,
if
I
it-
understand I know what you're saying.
Even if it was like 4 cars or 5 car lengths back, that it was no parking, so you could at least see if somebody was coming up. If the problem is that the street is angled, so you can't see.
If 2 cars are coming, one has to lay over and wait for the other ones.
Well, my main concern is turning off of Grant Street.
Your visibility.
Going.
Either way, because the street is like this.
Trying to look back to
It's a real tight turn too.
You're trying to see if anybody's coming, so if we go this way, so we would be rear-ended, but there's a time that a car almost drove all the way through, they didn't even stop, that I almost T-boned them there, and then if you're turning this way,
We can bring that
you get
issue
T-boned
up as
really
it
easily.
progresses.
Yes.
Did you want to bring it up?
In the conversation, because I make that turn 5 days a week as well.
There's many reasons why. I
The
won't.
person, the
Okay.
people going north on Carter are in harm's way because they can't necessarily see if someone is going to turn north off of Grant. I mean, so you gotta use good judgment, you know.
That's what he's talking about, looking through the back windows
Yeah.
and windshield
Yeah.
and hoping.
And there's not a lot of people
Gavel.
that think like me, so like, I'm the one that does that, but I'm trying to teach my 16-year-old kid to do that.
I do that too, but he's right.
If I may, gentlemen, if I may, sorry. Under the deal, we need to remain at the podium if there's a discussion. I think we're well aware of the situation at Carter Street there and appreciate you bringing it to attention. We can take a look at it and see if there's any way out of that situation, but I don't believe that there's a quick solution to that. Thank you. Are there any other guests this evening with issues for the council? Mr. Craig, if you'd approach the podium, please.
My name's Floyd Krieg. I live at 219 East Walnut Street. I just got a couple questions on this property that Wesleyan University gave us for a park. That's the answer to your question. We sell that, where's the money gonna go to?
I'm gonna let Teresa speak to that because when it comes to state funding, she's the expert and it's not super intuitive to people who don't work with public funds as far as once the money comes in, where it goes.
It goes back into the fund where it was purchased from, but since it was donated, the council will decide once we sell the property, then when we receive it, they'll decide what fund, but it will probably go
We
into
had
the general
indicated
fund.
that it would go into the general fund, but we had indicated that we could allocate that towards the development of a park. That has not changed.
Okay, and the second question is on this edit fund that sat through caucus and listened how that
Yes,
ordinance got washed away somehow.
yes.
If the Main Street wants to come and approve, how does Main Street get any money for any project that we want to do, like the Christmas lights? If we'd come and say we need $15,000 for Christmas lights for,
Mhm.
what's our process? I mean, do I just come and say, we need, here's
Well,
the
the issue is
proposal?
that, the town, we can only spend funds from appropriated funds, and those are earmarked in certain categories. So the council would have to decide if a request such as that were town promotion, if that was,
And it's supposed to be economic, how's it, economic development?
it
Still
could be
has some
viewed as whether
beautification
it would come
of the
from
town.
economic development. We would look at funds that are appropriate to be able to take that amount from, but essentially, yes, you would make a request. So I understand the entrance in ordinance 2000-5.
I mean, I still don't see how it all of a sudden it just disappeared, you know, that's,
Well, many ordinances come and go when you do the process of consolidating and reviewing that. We had to pass I want to call it a cleanup, but it was a reconciliation ordinance that as the company reviewed and the ordinances to see which were in conflict, there were some cases where the council had passed ordinances in conflict, and he asked the current council at that time to decide which applied. So in that process, that ordinance was deprecated. Teresa had the history that council in 2000, that was actually done for a development plan, I believe, right? The Main Street development plan. Main Street was working on a plan at that time, and that was where those funds were earmarked at that time.
okay, well, we'll submit something here real soon for,
Okay.
the Christmas, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think if you come down through the town and you turn and go to the fairgrounds, to go through that, I've had more than one person say, you know, where's the Christmas, you know, Greentown, the only place even celebrating Christmas, you know. So that's why we're trying to get that Hallmark Christmas look, you know, I guess. Because last year we didn't even have a Christmas tree. So that's all I'm saying.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Craig. Any other guests this evening?